Whoa. Welcome back, Village, to another episode of Jedi Learning with Baba Kintu. Today we're here to talk about some very, very special information. And that is, why can't your school teach you what is useful to you? And that's a very, very important question because it coincides with today's wisdom lesson, which is actually to teach those who are more powerful what is useful to them. Now, what does that wisdom instruction mean? It simply means that if you have a superior, a leader, somebody who you follow, or somebody who you work with very, very closely, who is in a leadership position, teach them what is useful to them, because as a result, they will make sure that you're taken care of. So if you are in a job, or if you are working for a company where you're working up under somebody, if you are giving them the proper advice, if you are giving them the best of your abilities, and they are able to prosper off of that information, you're going to reap the benefits. You are going to feel that feedback that this person gives you for showing them that you are responsible and a true carer of the organization and a true carer of their well-being, because they look to their advisors for information. There's no way they can know everything, and if you're a specialist in a particular area, you must teach the great what is useful to them. You will be taken care of as a result of that. Now, you may be thinking, well, is a superior always somebody who's over me? I'm my own superior. I'm the only one. There's nobody above me. Even if I have no job, there is nobody above me. And I would beg to differ. I would say, even if you are in your own business, run your own business, you have customers that you might take care of. They become your leader. They become the ones who you must answer to when things are going correct and when things are going wrong. So they become your leader, and you might give them information that is useful to them to help them out with their situation. And guess what? They'll in turn take care of you by continuing to patronize your business. Same thing with children. They may be one of our greatest assets, the children, because they will then take over the reins for us, take care of us when we're in our older age, and will take care of the world when we can no longer do so. So they then become what is called or considered the great. I do believe the children are our future. And actually, there is no other answer but that. So when it comes to the children, you would think your school should be teaching them what is going to make them great. And in turn, the schools will receive something from the children in order to make them continue to prosper. But unfortunately, most schools cannot follow this rule. And why is that? Because schools cannot teach you what is useful for you. At least most of them cannot. Because the contingencies that run the school are not paired up with actual learning, are not paired up with your actual prosperity. Let's just think of one, for example. The school, as we know it today, the public school, was, number one, not set up for today's society. It was set up more than 100 years ago during the Industrial Revolution, when everybody was required to work in factory-like positions. So this is why your schools are set up like factories, changing classes all at the same time, everybody receiving information all at the same time, everybody facing the front of the classroom, listening to the same lecture, no matter how many children are in their classroom at the same time. And this goes down from children all the way up to adults in the college. The same rules apply. As a matter of fact, you're probably learning even less in the college because it's based so much on lecture than you are in the undergrad studies and then on down into grammar school. But if we think about it for a second, there are other reasons why they cannot teach you this information, or at least the information that's useful to you. Another reason is because school starts too early. We know from health research that the human brain is really not functioning until about 9 or 10 o'clock. That's when humans are doing most of their work, most of their creative work. And that's being robbed because students are getting to school so early that they cannot concentrate. And this is why college is so much better, because at least it gives you a flexible schedule. But if you're getting up early, especially as a child, there's no way you can function waking up that early. But guess who runs that scheduling? Sports, number one, runs it, and then the bus schedules, number two, runs it. So unless schools are willing to get rid of their sports program and their transportation, they cannot teach you what is useful to you. What else? How about tests? You give a lot of tests. But guess what? In order for a test to be effective, you have to get feedback immediately so that you can then try again and see if you were able to be successful in answering that question or not. But because you don't get your test scores back for years at a time, there's no way you can make true educational, prospering decisions based on the results of that. Even in class, you usually don't get your results back until a week or two later. You need your questions and your answers corrected at the moment that you turn them in. If you wait any longer than that, the opportunity to actually learn, which is a relatively permanent change in behavior as a result of environmental experiences, to take place. So it just takes too long for a test to be corrected and then turned back and given feedback to the student. So as you can see, we can keep going with this. But let's just give you one more time-based reason why schools cannot provide you with the education that you need. And that is for the fact that they're time-based. They're not based on learning. It is based on your daily attendance and in completing semesters and years, which all have to start at the same time and end at the same time. But we all know this is not how people learn. The school is usually taught to that middle learner, which means that they learn at an average rate. They don't learn too fast and they don't learn too slow. We know that our slow learners usually struggle. But who hides behind those hidden doors is our fast learners. Often they're getting in trouble and thrown out of class because the information is just coming so slow that they end up doing other things other than participating in class. And as a result, they get kicked out and they're no longer learning. So these are just a few reasons why your school, even though they hold the most treasured and the greatest of all capital, they cannot teach you what is useful to you. But be that as it may, you still have a responsibility to teach the great what is useful to them, whether it be your students, your children, your business, your family, your spiritual center, your community, whoever you may serve, whoever looks up to you for guidance. If you provide them with that proper guidance, you will in turn be taken care of. You won't have to worry about food. You won't have to worry about clothes for your back. As a matter of fact, you may be provided with so much prosperity that there's not much that you have to worry about at all. If you want to see a real life example of that, both in the past and in the future, look at sages and wisdom instructors who are always held in high regard throughout times, especially our African ancestors. Straight out of Kemet, straight out of the Moorish areas, straight out of Nubia, Ghana, Janae, all those great universities, Timbuktu. They understood the power of teaching the great what is useful to them. But then you look at today, and who is prospering but people who are putting out information digitally, through videos, through spoken word, whether it be podcasts or radio shows. Those people are also taken care of if they are providing others with information that they can find useful. So let this be a lesson to you. Although the schools may not be able to and cannot teach you what is useful to you, at least most of them can't, that doesn't mean that you can't. So if there is somebody in a superior position to you, you give them the wisdom instructions that they need. Pass them on this wisdom instruction if you feel like it, and you will have no problems in your life. So once again, this has been Baba Kintu with another wisdom instruction for the village that we hope you can use in your everyday life. Just remember, anyone can learn to learn, and we look to resurrect communities through superior education. Peace.